Yes, first of all, thank you for having me in this, I want to call it crazy times, a second lockdown, at least the lockdown light starting in Germany on Monday. And of course, politics is very busy in organizing this, supporting companies in the next coming weeks and months. But still, I'm glad to be here and talk about this important topic of digital payments. And obviously, we are facing a phase where people use less cash and use more digital money. And I think even Corona is supporting this trend, obviously. But when I talk to merchants out there, when I talk to traders, they shift more to digital payments because it's cheaper, because it's faster. And for Germany and for Europe overall, this becomes a question of the future of financial markets. And it becomes a question about the technological sovereignty for Europe when it comes to digital topics and in specifics digital payments. And I want to spend the next few minutes with you talking about some ideas that drives us in the field of politics. So why is this relevant for politics? Why is it relevant for Berlin, for Europe overall? First of all, I'm very much convinced that whoever sets standards and becomes sort of the leader in this field is also able to bring certain values to the table. This is something that we have discovered when it comes to GDPR. GDPR, a European initiative, now more or less, has also set a global standard out there when it comes to data protection. And I think we should be eager to do the very same thing in terms of digital payments, because actually there is no need for a second currency or different protocols that banks use. So I think this is also a chance when it comes for Europe to apply these technologies with certain values. Second of all, why CDBC? I'm a fan of CDBC because there is a high degree of interoperability and intertransferability. I think not every bank should develop its own system. Instead, we need an infrastructure. This can be with the European Central Bank. This can be with a consortium of different banks. And on this infrastructure, banks and platforms and fintechs and customers can use and build and deploy their business model. I think this is also in the interest of the economy, and it helps us to reduce the costs and avoid the possibility of monopolies. And the third question that I ask myself in this field, why this is important to us, not only from a field of politics, but also from an, let's say, industrial policy field perspective, is when it comes to IoT. I'm from Baden-Württemberg, so to say the economic powerhouse of Germany, car industry, machinery, chemistry industry, and so on. And of course, IoT is a big topic. And of course, the payments between in this field of IoT is becoming more and more important. And if we not want to depend upon, let's say, foreign technologies, this is also a chance, but also I think a must when it comes to sovereignty in this field. So this is a political topic, of course. And then there's the other elephant in the room that has driven up and speeding up this process in the political field. This is, of course, what's happening out there in the world. So on the one hand, we see, I think we should regulate Libra as any other digital currency, but when it comes to a central question of the creation of money, I'm rather skeptical, because I'm convinced that the creation of money should be a sovereign task, and it must remain in the hands of the government. And of course, we're not quite sure what Libra will present us at the end of the day. We had a hearing with Libra in the German Bundestag. It's a theory, it's a model. It's not clear what really is on the table when it goes live. They did some changes. They changed it from a global stable coin with a basket to a single stable coin in one currency. They didn't answer the whole question about the creation of money. They didn't answer so far the question of credit. But this is something that we need to be sure of in order to make a decision if this is something that we want to roll out in Germany. Of course, there are still questions about anti-money laundering, and also data protection and customer protection is an important aspect. And then on the other hand, there is
Danyal, can you hear me?
Chinese activities. We visited committee. I can hear you.
The last 20 seconds, I think your connection failed. Just so you know, so you can start like the prior sentence.
Okay. Thank you for this. So this is the questions that we have towards Libra, and that's why I remain rather skeptical overall. And then on the other hand, we see the activities in China. We as the committee of the finance committee of the German Bundestag, we had a delegation to China, to Peking, to Hong Kong, to Shanghai last year. We visited Alipay. It was fascinating to see the speed and the eager when it comes to digital payments. But on the other hand, obviously, the values are confronting European values, especially when it comes to surveillance of customers. And they have started the piloting phase of the digital yuan, the Chinese currency of the renminbi. They've started rolling this out, I think, in over 3,000 shops in Shenzhen, with 2 million people having the possibility to use this. So this has put up the pressure also to German regulators, but also to European politicians to give an answer about that. So the question is, did we do enough in this field? Obviously, the question is no. The German government has released a blockchain strategy. I think was the right thing to do. I think it's too little and too late, but it's better than nothing, and we need to keep going on that one. We have also released the first law when it comes to electronic bonds and securities, which is an important topic when it comes to tokenization. This is also a big topic for the German stock exchange. But to be fair, there are other countries in Europe, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Malta. They are far ahead, and we are an industrial country, so we should speed up on that. And I think we also need to empower our supervisory bodies. The BaFin, for example, who has now a big headache with the scandal of Wirecard. But when we look on the future, I think we need agile, we need digital skills in these supervisory and regulatory bodies in order to deal with this topic of blockchain and digital payments. So, and the last point that I want to mention is we have a single market in Europe, which is strong in products and services. It's not so strong when it comes to digital services. So I think it's a chance not only to properly regulate, but also to deploy the technological aspects of digital payments when we really go forward for a digital single market in Europe. This is good. It's also for Germany, of course. And so I'm very thankful that the European Central Bank has started a piloting phase thinking about introducing a digital euro. So this comes at the right time. Of course, there are open questions like, how do we avoid digital bank runs? Should it be a wallet solution or should it be an account solution with the ECB? These are questions that we, together with the experts, have to sort out. But we've started this process, and I think Europe has now woken up because there is so much happening around there in the world, and we need to properly bring these topics to the table in Europe, but also on a supranational level, for example, like the G7 or the G20. And then I'm very positive that we can write the right standards for this important topic. Thank you for your attention.